night. Welcome, everybody. I'm going to sit here with my hands folded, not do nothing. Is that a double negative? Welcome, everybody. It's Sunday. Welcome to the show. We got a damn good show for you. We're going to be talking about leadership today. Leadership, another evidence of great leadership was an event that Kimi Cocoa Puffs and I did yesterday. And the success of this controlled chaos was all due to leadership. No doubt in my mind whatsoever, who's ever at the top of this organization is an amazing leader. So they're still out there. Still out there. It's hard because there's so many bad leaders. It makes you wonder, where's the leadership? Where has it gone? So that's what we're going to talk about today. Leadership in all three aspects of your career, whatever branch of service. Prior to going active duty, and then when you transition out. How does leadership play a part in all three of those, and how important is it? And I'm telling you, witnessed it again yesterday. My faith in leadership humanity has been restored. And another huge event yesterday. And I'll talk about that in a minute. We'll wait till everybody comes in and joins us. I did want to, can I see your sheet from church this morning? All right, Doc is back. What's up, Doc? Carrie Ann Marie is back. Hunter Collins is here. What's up, Hunter? We were just talking with the members. A couple hot things for members. If you're considering becoming a member, a couple hot things. You know, you get the pre-flight before the Gen Pop. We're gonna drop a video for the members right after this show. Violet is here. Oh, thank you. Jordan Hammond is here. Good evening, my friend. How are you doing? I love you, my dear friend. I appreciate your motivation because it helps me to become a better person. Amen, Jordan Hammond. Thanks for being here, brother. We feel the same about you. Today's sheet from church. Give everybody a few minutes. But that's what we're talking about today. The three aspects of your career: prior service, during service, and after service. The key role that leadership plays in all three. That's all I could think about yesterday when I was dying at this event. Was the leadership that went into putting it. They've been doing it for 10 years, so they got it. But you have leaders in the community that have been leading at least half of their career and half of their post-career and still can't get it right. So we're going to talk about during the show after we cover that event we went to yesterday. David Bryan is here. Good evening, Sergeant Major, producer, members, and guests. Be prepared to be educated by the salty ones. Amen. That's why we're here. And met another guy, Jeremy. Right? You said I would forget his name. Jeremy yesterday, leaving the event. Recognized me. Hey, Sergeant Major, we got a picture. Well, I'm telling you, we're going to put up a collage of all the people we've seen on the street. Army guy. Carrie Ann Marie Potts. You find enemies, weapons. Do you hand them or do you use them? Wow. If so, there's safety measures. If I can't ask, ignore that. You can write on that. Great question, Carrie Ann Marie Potts. What happens when we find enemy gear and equipment, weapons?
Where did you find it?
Yeah, you nailed it, and I don't think there's anything secret about it. It's not top secret stuff, but it depends on the situation. That's why there's no black and white answer. In Desert Storm, for instance, we found tons and tons of stuff. Sometimes we pile it up and destroy it with our own demo. I mean, that's what engineers up. Sometimes we'll just confiscate it if we can keep it. Not if we can keep it, if we have room for it. What we don't do is just leave it on the battlefield, right? Even our own weapons, if Marines get injured, our service members get injured, we don't leave any of their gear there. We don't want the enemy to use it. So that happens often. And we'll collect it up, we'll take it, we'll turn it in to whoever it needs to be turned into. We don't take it back. We don't have to take war trophies and all that stuff like you see in the movies, right? There are items that we do bring back. It's got to go through Congress. I don't know how we get it back, but it is brought back for museum, for historical reasons. but in their typical firefight, enemy, you collect all that stuff up and it goes somewhere, gets disposed of, so no one else can use it. All right, Jonathan Gonzalez, how long were you in the Marines? Sir, still in, just retired. Once a Marine, always a Marine. Did a full career though. Columbia's here. What's up, Anthony Reed? Hunter Collins, can you go into depth why hazing is explicitly bad? I hear a lot of young guys trying to say that it can serve a purpose. Oh, were you writing in that book for you or for me? For you. Okay. That's a great question, Hunter Collins. Why is hazing bad? Randall Knapp is here. I'll be late today with work and physical training, but still here. Cheers, Randy. Good to see you, brother. I'm going to answer that on hazing real quick. So whatever I miss, if you guys can tell me later, because that's a great question. Hazing is bad. But there's a difference between hazing and rituals, right? But that's where people mess it up. A ritual into welcome into the engineer community, I talked about it last week, is a axe qualification. We have one of our tools is a half hatchet qualifications. And the idea is to get blindfolded and chop a quarter in half. That means you're good with the hatchet. It's all a rite of passage, if you will, because they replace the quarter when you're blindfolded, they replace the quarter with your cover and you end up chopping your cover up. Harmless. Yeah, you got to buy a new cover. They're like $8, but it's a welcome into the engineer community. You made it. That's a good ritual to welcome you in. That's not hazing. It's when people take that out of context and now you're making people do things that's degrading, physically, some kind of physical harm to them, or just weird, right? Look up some old hazing incidences and people are getting hurt or embarrassed, right? Nothing embarrassing about that. And there's no harm, no foul. There's safety. There's Marines around there watching you. That's a good ritual. It's when, his cover, we start out with this cover. It gets way blown out of proportion because everyone wants to outdo the other people. I'm telling you, I've seen some horrible hazing throughout my career, and I don't condone it, never have. The welcome to the ranks, you punch, when someone gets promoted, you punch them in the arm, it's a little tap. Welcome to the Lance Corporal community, because that's where you get your stripe. So the ritual is you punch them where a new stripe is going to go. But that turns in trying to injure that individual. The NCO stripe, that's a little knee to the leg because now you just earned your blood stripe. That little knee to the thigh turns into trying to destroy someone, right? Trying to knock someone out. So it only becomes hazing when they take it too far, right? Then they completely miss the opportunity for a motivating welcome into the community, welcome into this MOS. I'm sure every MOS has their ritual that they go through, and as long as, again, there's training value to it, as long as no one gets hurt, no one gets embarrassed, no one gets assaulted, then it's good. So yes, hazing, horrible. Don't do it. And a lot of times, even some of the NJPs I've been through, seeing even the hazee, the Marine getting hazed was like, no, it's okay. I didn't mind. I wanted to do it because I want to be a part of the infantry. I wanted to be welcomed in. So I didn't mind it. Doesn't matter. It's still hazing and it's wrong. All right. Doc, I don't know which one you're talking about. Marines fighting in the barracks. I've seen plenty. Too much. Is that new? Video Marines fighting in the barracks. That's what I'm telling you. I've seen some crazy stuff. All right. Kelly, the OG is here. Kelly, how's your recruit? How's he doing? We just talked on Wednesday, right? Still pushing through. David Bryant. Anthony Reed, we don't get into politics like that here. David Bryant, when I got promoted to Lance Corporal, I got, oh, what do you ask? What tactics do you think the strategy is on Colombia and Venezuela invasion? Colombia does have 5 borders and rough terrain. What tactics do you think the strategy is on Colombia? That's not? I want to talk about. wartime? Like if, okay. All right. When I got promoted to Lance Corporal, I got kicked in the groin by a corporal. Again, David Bryan, that's what those rituals turn into. When it should be, again, just a little, you talk to old school guys who have done it the right way, just a little tap on the shoulder, welcome. Staff NCOs, welcome. You don't see, and that's another good way to look at it. You don't see anyone doing that to staff sergeants, gunnery sergeants, trying to destroy their shoulders by welcoming them into the community. Airborne infantry culture when I was in was brutal. Again, with the jump wings. Yeah. Oh no, Kelly. Oh gee, we received bad news about my son today. His knee is messed up again, so I'm not sure what happens from here. No. Um, I mean, chances are he'll get dropped back again if it's that bad, back to MRP, medical rehab platoon, until, man, horrible. Can you help out on Kelly response? Yeah, I mean, they're communicating with you, Kelly. I'm assuming, just letting you know what process, the seriousness of his injury, and facts. I had a recruit, Goldman. He used to be on here. He was at recruit training for 11 and a half months because of injuries. One was he showed up overweight, but then he had an injury. Then he went to MRP till he healed. Then he went back to training, got injured again, went back to MRP. So 11 months. I pray, Kelly, that he doesn't have to stay that long, but I also pray even harder that he heals 100%. So I think that's what they'll do, send him back to MRP so he can heal all the way. God, that's horrible. But hang tough. Keep us posted. Same knee? Man. Oh, man. Okay. Hunter, I think UCMJ should go in depth on degrees of harm, bruises, okay, lacerations, excessive bleeding, not okay. And it shouldn't be any bruising. That's my whole point, Hunter. There shouldn't be any bruising, any kind of injury, any kind of assault, any kind of hands-on, none of that. You can welcome somebody into your community, the Motor T community, by having a tire change in competition. Something, there's ways to keep it humane. And that's all we need to do. That's easy. All right. Reclamation, you guys see that? Did he do something wrong by naming an individual? No. Brandon, little hazing is fine by me. It's an old tradition. Shellback, anyone. Shellback. So that's a good traditional. I mean, to call it hazing, it makes it sound bad. That's all straight tradition. You don't harm anybody. Yeah, it hurts and you get sore. You're walking around on the deck, but you prepare for that. You know what's coming, and no one's just straight up beating the crap out of you. If they are, then they've crossed that line, and that's all it is. Just don't cross the line of now you're hurting somebody, you're assaulting somebody. Again, all the things that degrade or injure somebody. Yeah, the shellbacks, those are good, historic. I went through it, so I know, and nothing seemed degrading, but that wasn't why they were doing it. All right, so a little hazing, just call it something else. Ritual, that's all you got to do, and keep it clean. Remember the briefs about jump wings? Same. Got my air crew wings. And that was even an air crew, and there was more jump wings. They're air crew wings, and that's the tradition. When people get promoted, slap them in the shoulder. That's history and tradition too. It's when you cross the line and try and stick the backing of a chevron into the bone, right? Who can make them bleed? It's not about that. All right. Kelly OG, we're just scared to death that they will send them home, as we all are, and that's the worst thing that could ever happen to a recruit is to get sent home. Same knee, man. I don't know if you're communicating with him or who's communicating with you, but tell him hang tough. We're all on his side here. Hang tough. Heal. Heal 100%. His health is much more important than anything, right? You don't want to have this injury for the rest of his life. So hopefully he heals and can get right back at it. Man. I can't see the last line. When I have kids, I want to encourage them to join the Marines. Say what?
Some people bruise easy.
Oh.
Is the last line of that, but that's a good.
Oh. Marines know how to nurture in a healthy way. My dad was a jarhead, and of course, myself. Some people bruise easy. Facts. That is true. Again, it's the intent. That's what turns it into hazing. That's what gets you busted. That's what gets you NJP, ruining your career when you turn it into hazing. Even, I'm telling you, the excuse 99% of the time, he wanted it. He knew we were doing it. That's what, he's okay with it. Nope, still hazing. All right. You see what a hot topic is it is. Hazing is wrong, period. And that's going above and beyond. All right. Welcome, everybody. SFMF, starting off banging right from the start. It is Sunday. In church today, we had a great message. Still there on the prophecy and promise. That's God's promise to you. He made us a promise before we even knew about it. That's the whole message, is that God is with us. God is with us means God comes near before you even reach out to him. So God is already helping us before we reach out to him. You just got to know that. You got to have faith and trust that he is doing that. He was reaching out to us before we ever reach out to him. So just know that God has a plan, right? We may not see it. We shake our fists a lot of times at God. Why are you letting this happen? God has a plan, and he's already reaching out to us before we reach out to him. We just got to have the faith to follow through and know that he's with us. All right. Right? Nigerian Nightmare. Those ones who put a bad name to hazing, if you ain't missing some teeth. Do they need to come up with guidelines what they can and cannot do while hazing? David, Bryant, that's a good point. And they try to oftentimes. It's like playing flag football with Marines. PT, organized athletics. You played a nice game of two-hand touch football or flag football, if you will. How quickly does that turn into tackle? Because that's what Marines do. They take it over the edge, right? And then that flag football becomes tackle football. Then somebody breaks an ankle, and now he's out of commission. That's one less fighter you got if you got to go to war. That's the whole intent, right? Knocking someone's teeth out. Yeah, that's hazing because now he's got to go to dental and he may miss that deployment. You're one less trigger puller away from your TO. So it's training value. Once again, there's a whole purpose why you have two-hand touch football and not tackle. Just that. You don't want to lose one of your trigger pullers. Accident, right? Accidents happen, but you want to maintain combat ready at all times. That's what it comes down to. If you're interfering with combat readiness, shouldn't happen. Better take it slow and properly recover. Back to Kelly's son. He's got to recover all the way. All right. I'm a 30-year-old, ships out in March. 11 Bravo in the Army, infantry era. How do you feel about older dudes trying to get that itch fixed?
We just watched Old Man Rivers.
Yeah, we just watched
30 is nothing.
Old Man Rivers play football at 44 years old. NFL quarterback, for those you don't know, he was a Charger for many, many years, been out of the NFL for 5 years. They called him in off retirement, 44 years old. Old Man Rivers threw a touchdown pass. Looks like they might be about to lose, but he's out there getting it. Yeah, he's out there getting it. He did fall down at one point. That looked pretty like an old man trying to get back up on the football field. but James Bailey, I'm all for it. 44 is not old. I keep trying to convince my family 44 is not old. I know we're talking about Phillip Rivers playing football at 44. It's how you feel. That's like an older gentleman like me running the High Rocks yesterday. I'm not too old. It's all how you take care of your body, the importance of taking care of your body throughout your life. You never know. But I think it's great. Not only because I'm an older guy, James, but I think you have something to give, right? And you clearly are ready for it. You want to do it. That's what it's all about. That's maturity. That's leadership. That's experience that you're bringing to the table. Tell everyone all the time, as a drill instructor, I used to like receiving older recruits in boot camp. Can count on their maturity, their leadership, right? They're a young 18-year-old, and if you have a 30-year-old in boot camp, I think my oldest recruit was like 26 when I was a drill instructor, 28 maybe, and I was like 24. So he was older than me. He was one of my recruits, but I figured out quickly to use him for his maturity and leadership. It was good. Right there, Anthony Reed. I think older men are a valuable asset to the military. I do too. And that's why we have the 40-year retirement, right? You can retire at 20, 30, or 40. To go over 30, you got to be a special Marine, but you can. And you go all the way up to a 40-year retirement because old guys rule. All right. I believe that current idea that any action that affects readiness equals hazing. Nailed it, Hunter. That's it. So know that when you're in a situation like that. Because this is where that peer pressure comes in, right? You're with your buddies, you're all corporals, NCOs, you got a new kid in, you're ready to welcome him into the community, and that ritual starts to go overboard and turns into hazing. So be aware. All right. Jonathan Gonzalez, I'm new to the channel, but do you share stories of when you were in the Marines? I do, Jonathan, not too much. This is about all of us here in this channel, and the community is the best part of this challenge of this channel, because we do share stories, educate people, enlighten people, stay with people. So it's a great place to be. So stay with us and you'll see. I think recruiters should share your channel. Maybe bring it to Headquarters Marine Corps. Hunter Collins, we've had some comments in there like, man, this should be shown. Someone recently just put this video, I don't remember what the video is on, should be shown to Poolees and then recruits, and then 6 months later when they're in the Marine Corps. All we try to do in this whole community is make it so you don't have to learn the hard way by sharing stories, sharing ideas, sharing lessons learned. Like, man, because if I knew then what I know now, I'd have been a whole different, better recruit, better Marine, better everything. So that's the whole point of this, all of this. Right there, David Bryant suggests the same thing for boot camp on Sunday. What do you think? It's that's why we're here. Bryce Wyborg is here. 21st thumb, 36 in. Pick up the pace, Marines. Yes, appreciate you all. Even met a guy yesterday. We're going to talk about High Rocks here in a few minutes. This is what we did. Kimi Cocoa Puffs and I yesterday. Physical fitness, staying in shape, kind of a mix of working out and CrossFit combined to make it a hybrid rockstar event. What's the back of the shirt say? High Rocks something World Race Series. Yeah, something like that. It's very cool. Kelly OG, 4 a.m. does come early. You'll have a good night. Please pray for my son. We will, Kelly, for real. Seriously, we are. We will continue. Please keep us updated. We're praying for his wellness first, and then everything else after that. Hope he's doing well. Man. All right. Carrie Ann Marie Potts says, double tap, everyone. Gunner Strong, USMC retired. Prayers. Prayers up for Kelly's son. And any recruit that gets injured. Probably the biggest, not retention, what's it called? biggest reason that recruits don't make it through is through injury. So you got to take care of yourself. All right, prayers up. Okay, I'm going to talk about first membership. Members, what we're going to do, again, we pre-flight before the live, the Gen Pop live. If you look on here, again, the names are in green. You have a different icon, different badge for how long you've been a member. Yellow is the most senior ones right now. It changes at 1 year, so yellow is 6 months or over. The dark one, I think that's dark blue, that's for new members. And they change throughout up to a year, up to 10 years. But right now we have it up to 1 year. That changes. Members are also gonna get dropped a video of us at High Rocks yesterday. It's up already? No one better leave here and watch it. It's the members just got dropped a video of Kimi Cocoa Puffs and myself at the High Rocks. High Rocks is a hybrid of weightlifting and CrossFit. Cardio. So it's like beast mode type of stuff. We end up running about, oh, is that what you wrote down?
Yes, sir.
6 miles. We ran about 6 miles.
No.
You run 6 miles? Oh, 0.6. Oh.
Each time.
So each time before every event, there's 8 stations. You run 2 laps, which equaled a half a mile. So boom, clock goes. There's probably about, how many of us in that group? 100?
Maybe, no.
Less than 100,
Yeah.
right? Doubles, it was doubles mixed. So male and female doubles. All age ranges. I don't think age,
No, I think we were in the average of our ages.
yeah. We're in the average of our age. So we're in the old person group. So 2 of us ran. Again, there's probably about 30 or 40 pairs, right? Teams. Boom. Gun goes, we run a half a mile, which was 2 laps in this arena. Soon as we finish those 2 laps, we go to our first station, was the ski ropes. What's that called? Ski rig? Ski erg, right? The 2 cables that you pull down, and you have to get 1,000 meters. Ski erg, 1,000 meters. And you share it. So you do something, your partner does something. You keep switching back and forth till you hit 1,000. And it goes by pretty quick. That one went by pretty quick, and we were still pretty fresh. Then you get back on the track, boom, do your 2 laps. And we were passing people, right? It seemed like we were getting it. And because we were still fresh. Then after the second lap, you go back into the arena. The second event was the sled push. 220-pound sled. 4 plates on a sled. You push it however you want. We saw all different kinds of methods and means of pushing the sled 50 meters. So it was close. So we pushed it one way, came back, up, back, done. That wasn't too difficult. That was pretty, still felt pretty good, and we're still fresh. But as soon as you finish that, another half a mile, 2 laps. And then back in to station number 3, which was the sled pull. Same weight sled, now on a rope, pulling it towards you. Total of 50 meters. So one way, the other way. That one's 5. That was an odd number. Oh, now it's 4 too. Yeah, so up, back, pull the sled, take off. Another 2 laps. Another half a mile. Next one, station number 4, is where it started going downhill for me. Burpees. And these weren't just in-place burpees. You had to go a distance. So you moved forward when you took a leap. So you did a burpee and then jump. Do a burpee and then jump. That kicked my butt. That's for 80 meters. Again, once you get tired, you switch off, your partner goes, and you follow. Now, I don't know if you noticed, but a couple of times she was way out. I was still having my hands on my knees, still trying to catch my breath, and then walk up and catch her. And then we would, I would tell her, do 4 more. That was just to give me more time to rest. And then the other 2 laps. Again, 2 laps. And again, it felt like we're zooming. But and it has everything broken down. Obviously, our laps got slower as time went on. The fastest one was like 6 minutes, 5 minutes.
Yeah,
Our fastest was like 5, and our slowest was 9,
almost 10.
almost 10, 9 something. But that's 8 times we did those laps. Okay, so after burpees was the row. The row machine, you sit on, put your feet in, row. 1,000 meters, again, taking turns. That wasn't too bad. You get winded, but it was back to upper body. So it felt pretty good, give our lower body kind of a rest. And then back on the track, boom, 2 laps. Then the farmer's carry. How heavy were those? 20 kilos? 20 kilo.
I think it was 24 kilo. Wasn't that a weird?
Yeah, 24 kilos or 26 kilos. Kettlebells, one in each hand. Just run and step it out as fast as you can. And I did run a little bit because I had to pass this old lady. She wasn't old, but I wanted to pass her. Finished that for 1,000 meters. It was a zigzag. Dropped the kettlebells back, took off again, 2 laps again. And then the sandbag lunges. Oh, still sore from those. I think I will be for about a week. So sandbag on your back. You had to, didn't even say you had to put on your shoulders, but probably the best way to carry it, but you had to carry a sandbag. Lunges. 1 step at a time for 1,000, 100 meters. That was it. Felt like 1,000. I think you forgot a 0 on here. 100 meters, sandbag lunges. Brutal. The hardest one of all of it. And it was on like concrete. It wasn't on the turf like all the other things were on for some reason. Boom. And you had to touch your knee. Your knee had to touch the ground or it didn't count. And then over the line, and I try to reach for the last one. I end up getting penalized. I had to do 2 more. So that was a mistake. Everything's getting judged. There's judges watching you do everything. And then the last one was the wall balls. 8-pound ball, throwing it up, probably about 10 feet.
I think it was, I don't know what the kilogram is to.
Yeah, like 6 kilos or 8 kilos. Had to hit a little tiny sensor. So you had to get it on the right spot and you had to squat down low enough. Again, this was an hour and 40 minutes later. I was a little tired, a little irritated. I wasn't going down low enough, so they didn't count like 10 of mine. Finally got a little upset, and the judge was like, "You're not going down low enough," and I got mad at her. And then the head judge came by and said, "Look, you ain't going down low enough. Here's a stool for you to sit on or for you to touch. That's how you know." And I got mad at her, and we almost got disqualified. But we didn't. We finished. That was 100 of those, 100, in which we probably did about 120 at least. And then finished. Hour 45 minutes of brutalness. It was awesome though. The whole thing, again, high rocks. Here's what we got. We didn't get no medal or anything. This is even better. All right, that was a patch. It's a patch. I like that better because you run marathons, you run fun runs, you get a medal that ends up in a closet somewhere you don't see it. I'm going to support this patch. Sport it. Because I think, again, overall there's 30,000 competitors there in one day, and it was 3 days long. And it was the most chaotic, organized event I've ever been to. Leadership from the top. Whoever's in charge of this, of the entire thing, mad props. All the workers who volunteered. We volunteered in the morning first for 6 hours. Probably shouldn't have volunteered and competed on the same day because we were pretty beat. But they're everywhere. Organizers, officials, head judges. I mean, they had radios. There's apparatuses everywhere. There's people in and out. They had bridges. They had security. They had cops there. I mean, just the whole thing. For that many people, for that many hours, and that many events, and that much equipment and hydration. They had sponsors there. They had a store. Everything was awesome. I got nothing bad to say about any of the organization of it. And this is proof that leadership counts, man. I mean, and everyone was motivated, right? All the workers, you didn't get no attitude from anybody, and you're hot and tired and irritated, and you're just beat down. And it was still comfortable to be there. It was still like these guys got to go bag checks, right? That went smooth. A warm-up station prior to going in. Plenty of photo ops all throughout. They had their labeling. Every High Rocks was everywhere. It was awesome. Great event. Highly recommended. Check into it. High Rocks. hybrid, rock star combined. Great workout. It was good. Made it so I want to do it again. Right? I don't do a whole lot of car. I love to run and I love to work out, but I separate them. This was putting it all together. It was good. All right. High rocks. Good time. And wall balls. Almost got banned from the, almost got disqualified. Disqualified. All right. Where we at? That's a big kahuna burger. You guys talking about Pulp Fiction? You know what they call a quarter pounder with cheese in Paris? They don't call it a quarter pounder with cheese. They call it Royale with cheese. Great movie. Because of the metric system. That's right. Check out the big brain on Brad. Awesome. All right. That's that Hawaiian place, the Big Kahuna Burger. How'd you guys get on that? John McJunkin is here. I see ya. We're ready. Here's what we're talking about today. And all I could think about all day yesterday at that event, because we were there all day, literally. We left at 4:30 and we didn't get back till like 22:30. It was a long day. So we're still recovering now, but you know, you guys know me by now. I equate everything to leadership, and I wish I could have met one of the owners or CEOs or someone higher in the chain of command. Again, we're volunteers, but our direct supervisor was like a head judge. But it was amazing. The whole event was amazing, and it just proved to me my faith in leadership in our humanity was restored yesterday because of that. So you can't tell me these other organizations that you see fail over and over are due to economy, due to, well, that's just today's youth. That's today's society. All those are excuses. There's no way in heck that you could convince me otherwise. Because this High Rocks community, we saw it's like being at an airport. You saw every type of individual, the top athletes and people there just for a good time and getting in a little shape and just being a part of that community. So it wasn't just the cream of the crop, right? It was a whole community, and they not cater, they anticipate that because of the leadership. Probably gets with the community or with the individual leaders of each section. Like we had the sled push is what we volunteered. That was and we just made sure they pushed it over. You know, we're judges, if you will. So I think the CEO will probably say, hey, you guys been judging the sled push for a little while to the head judges. What do you think what are we doing well? What should we keep doing? What needs to be adjusted? You know what I mean? No doubt in my mind, the security. Hey, security, we had that bridge going over the track. Did that work out? Right? The starting gate was a huge tent, Red Bull tent that we all gathered in, and someone's in there just briefing you, probably going, hey, don't forget, this is how many laps, you enter here, you exit here. And then he gave like a motivation speech. All right, you know, you're here, it's a small percentage of you just moto right before we took off. That dude was good. You know what I mean? And he probably got with the CEO, hey, sir, do you think I can have like 3 more minutes prior to them taking off just to get them in that, you know what I mean? It was just, it's such a leadership 101, common sense kind of thing. You can't make that CEO doesn't make all those decisions in a box, right? Too many leaders plan in a box. Well, I think we should do this with the start of the race, and because that's how I want to do it. Well, dummy, it's not going to work. Talk to the guy who runs the start line now and see, I have this idea as a CEO, I'm in charge, I want to try and see if this can work. Head guy of the start line, will this work? Sir, that's a great idea. However, don't forget that, you know, we're fitting 100 people in this small tent, or they're all going to hear me. If you give me a microphone, then yes. Get with the individuals that it directly affects. My last business, where I worked, that's what the boss was, making rules, making procedures and policies, planning in a box. Didn't once go outside the box and say, hey, This is what I want to do. I'm changing this. Will it work? One simple question to ask, will it work? How hard is that of a leader? I tell you how hard it is. Ego gets in the way. I'm not going to listen to him. He works for me. He's running the start line. I want it to run this way. You can do that. You can do that. But when it doesn't work and when it starts to fail, that's when you have to detach for a minute, step back and look and say, is this working? And or he'll see the results. We're losing a lot of students, aren't coming back after Christmas. What can we do to change that? Not this is what we're going to do. Talk to the people who directly get affected by your changes. So my last unit didn't do. Last organization did none of that. And it's just continuing to fail. Solid leadership. Give it up. Hats off to High Rocks. They're nailing it. All right. Roll call. Let's take roll call. Oh, no? Sorry. Roll call.
Did you not notice what I was doing just now?
Yeah, sorry. Ray from Queens. He'll be watching tomorrow. Ray, Semper Fi, brother. Always good to see you the next day when you let us know we're watching. So, Ray, keep getting after it, brother. Appreciate you. Carl Green. Is Carl here? I didn't see Carl yet. Did we get a time check? Doc Holliday's here. David Bryant. Lay Cookie. Where's Lay Cookie? Recovering and working? He just showed up. All right. I was yapping, so if you showed up, I apologize. Randy and Ellie are here. Anderson Ho, Menachem's here. Ed Creedon, Carrie Ann Marie Potts is here. Jordan Hammond, right from the jump. There's Lay Cookie. I see you, brother. Heavy J. Bryce Wyborg is here. Richard Bridges, we haven't seen in a little while. Utley is not here yet. Matthew Askren, Chicken has arisen. Michael's Drones. We haven't heard from Michael in a while either. Zombie Blood. Great comments, Zombie Blood, on the shorts. Again, I didn't get to any yesterday. I was too busy recovering, trying to survive. Cave Diver. Hot Rod, Gunny Rod, must be killing it, working hard. Jared, JTB, John McJunkin. Did you say Jared was here? JTB, John McJunkin and crew is here. Gunny East, Old Gyrene, saw him earlier. Mark Hankins, USMC Vet. Keenan Lindsay, Eric S., Eric Green, Sergeant Stacking, Jay Dilly, Zine Ping. Zine Ping has some family issues. Zine Ping, our thoughts and prayers are with you. Bob, 420 Network. Young Ma, Kirby Dude, where you at, J-Dub? Big Red, Randy Hodder, JP, Oversized Detour, Salty Saxy, WM, and Dr. Gimpy. Yeah.
If we missed anyone, let us know.
If we missed anyone, let us know. Send a message in all caps to the producer so we can get you on the roll call list.
But you have to have been here a couple times. You can't just show up today.
You got to have a little time in grade time of service. Hunter Collins is coming in strong. John McJunkin, a good can tell, all good can tell when you needs to be done, how it needs to be done, but a great leader will work with you to get the job done when it needs to be done. That's a lot of getting stuff done, but exactly. I wanted to, that leadership stuff you were telling me the other day, there were some good quotes in that. I'll work on that and pass. So there's some great leadership sayings in that, and really what it is remember my speech on passion versus desire. Okay, ideally you have them both. You have passion and a desire to be a good leader. And there's even a difference in being a leader and being a boss, being a leader and being a manager, right? Anybody can boss people around. It doesn't take a whole lot of effort, right? I'm in charge. I'm going to boss you around. That's not a leader. That's completely different. And my last boss was just that, a boss. And he can take on the role, and he had the desire to be a boss, and you're doing it this way because I said so. That's zero. It takes zero leadership to be a boss. And don't, I want to be my own boss one day. Change that to I want to be my own leader one day. Because everyone would like to be their own boss, sure. But don't get that boss mentality. It doesn't take anything to be a boss besides position, right? That's someone in the position of a manager or boss or leader. I know manager, those are all titles. Well, boss isn't. But be a leader, right? A leader doesn't want to make great followers. Leaders are trying to make leaders, right? Someone that's going to replace you one day. That's when young Marines or recruits or cadets, they say, I want to be just like you one day. Well, then I'm failing you. I don't want you to be like me. I want you to be better than me. So don't get in that do as I say, not as I do. Lead them. That leadership 101, lead by example. Right? People learn a whole lot more by watching your example, not listening to what you say. Attention span is seconds anyway. So how much are they going to listen to you? They're going to follow your example. So my last boss I learned a whole bunch of things not to do from him and his whole chain of command, because they were acting like him. They were working like him. They were learning from him, a boss, not a leader. Huge difference. Doc Holliday, leadership isn't the rank you wear or the title you hold. It's the standard you live by, military or civilian. Real leaders serve first, stand firm under pressure, and leave people stronger than they got them. Absolutely, right? I don't want anybody to be like me. Never have in my whole career. I want them to be better than me, or better than they found them. I see it there, and that's exactly it. Lead them, right? I haven't quoted Braveheart very often. I haven't watched it in a long time, but I've seen it a couple hundred times. Just lead them. Braveheart tells he's a leader of his community, and he tells the guy who's senior to him, he's like, just lead them. That's all they want from you, to lead them, not to boss them around, not to, huh? Robert the Bruce, right? He was I can't remember what they call him, not a commoner. He was a leader of the commoners. So he had some power, right? He lived in a nice house. Robert the Bruce, he had all the power, but he wasn't leading them. He was doing what all his forefathers did and bossing them, right? Just lead them. If you lead us, I would follow you. They would follow you. I would follow you. So I want to tell my last chain of command. If you were just to lead us, bro, I'll do anything you say. One of my direct supervisors said, you don't like anything I do. Because you don't do anything. I need you to do things for the betterment of the organization so I can follow you. You're just holding that spot, holding that billet, the whole line of leadership in name only. You're in charge because that's what your title says, not because of what you do and how you lead. You've been given that billet. You hear me say it all the time. When the higher you go, the greater your responsibility is, right? You don't make it to the top, and that's what this guy, he made it to the top. All right, I'm in charge now. I'm in charge, so I'm done. It's what? A nobleman. Oh, yeah. Robert the Bruce was a nobleman.
And then he found his cojones.
Yeah, and it took him a while. Robert the Bruce got it. He eventually got it. He said, no, I'm tired of following as a leader. It's time for me to lead by example. So let's go fight the English, right? No more am I going to take the scraps that they give. And that's a line. You're happy with the scraps from Longshanks, the King of England. You're okay with accepting those scraps. Today's society, you're okay with accepting the billet and the T-shirt that says I'm in charge on the back. You're okay with that. That's all you wanted. But zero leadership. So again, dealing with them. Last 4 years. Last quote. Last quote flash from the manager training I had last week. Gentleman was a Navy vet. Oh, that was a quote from him. Leadership is, dang it, I was too slow. Yeah, I missed it. Oh. That's all you had to do? Leadership is choosing to carry the heaviest load in silence so your people can move forward with confidence, purpose, and the courage to become more than they were yesterday. That's awesome. That was a quote from Navy leader. Boom. Big orange box. What's up, Doc? I know today's heavy and the load feels real, but heavy days build strong people. Stay together, trust each other, and keep moving forward. Every step you take today proves you're tougher than the weight you carry. That's the quote. Screenshot, everyone. Man, I know today's heavy and the load feels real, but the heavy days build strong people. Stay together, trust each other, and keep moving forward. Every step you take today proves you're tougher than the weight you carry. Amen. That's awesome, Doc. Thank you, brother. Victor Perez, that's good. A good leader performs what he. I got it. Good leader performs what he teaches. They're out there. I'm telling you, these leaders are out there. Proven yesterday by the High Rocks event. Leaders are out there. There's still good leaders. I seem to harp on bad leadership because, again, you can learn from bad leadership as well. And if I hadn't just experienced it for 4 years, I wouldn't be talking about it so much, but it's. Anthony, I highly encourage young people to get the skill that can be used after the military. Oh, DLI, talking about. MOSs. That's pretty deep, dog. Hunter Collins, the stream got me sending me text to my old leadership about good and bad. Okay, this stream got me sending me text to my old leadership about good and bad. Awesome. Again, that's why we're here. Just information that we can all use, right? And even those bad leaders, right? I used to put leadership quotes on the dry erase board in the gym. Problem was the right people weren't reading it, or they're reading it thinking, "Well, that's a good quote," not knowing that it was directed towards them specifically, right? They, oh, that's cool. Oh, look, Cece put another quote up. Oh, that's a good one. But they weren't reading it. They weren't hearing it. It wasn't landing. I'd do it every single day. I'd go to the gym at 4 a.m. and a leadership quote. Maybe one of these guys, there's like 2 or 3 of them. It just needed to not only read it, but take it in and think, man, every leadership quote this guy's putting on here, I need to do. It wasn't landing. I stopped doing it. Nobody even noticed I stopped doing it. Some motivation ones too, but straight leadership. The leadership was that bad, where any which way, saying it wasn't getting through to them. Putting it on a dry erase board wasn't doing it. Putting it in an after actions report and submitting it just wasn't landing. And it's huge failure now. David Bryant, you have to respect the rank and what it represents, not necessarily the individual. That's touchy too. That's a touchy point. You have to respect the rank. Sure, absolutely no disrespect intended whatsoever. The individual you trust is going to live up to that rank. That's the other problem. So are they living up to that rank? Learn from the bad from Ramos. Learn from the bad on your own mistakes. Grow to the leader you want to be by making good choices and looking out for your team. Looking out for your team, taking care of them, fighting for them. That was the other part I mean, had to tell this leader, I said, look, I don't trust that you will protect us if we're ever in a situation, not physically, but as our leader. We don't think that you'll protect, you won't fight for us, you won't go to bat for us. And we saw that happen. You can tell from Lake Cook, you can tell if an organization, I'm going to get this.
Keep me, cover me.
How'd you do that?
Just cover me.
Cohesion and underlings. I want to go back up to Lake Cookies. Click outside there. Make it look so easy. You can tell if an organization does not have good leadership by simply looking at the actions of the workers. Bad leadership doesn't promote. So, again, yesterday, every single volunteer, people off the street, that was my first time volunteering, your first time volunteering for that. These are just people off the street wanting to volunteer. They had a positive attitude because we're following the lead of the head judges. The head judges are following the lead off their senior judge, their white t-shirts and then the black t-shirts, whatever chain of command that they had, you can tell. The black shirts would just walk around, how's everything going? I'm a volunteer off the street. He doesn't know me. How's everything going? Like 5 or 6 times throughout this event, just checking on his people. That's good leadership. I'm sure it worked that way all the way up the chain of command. It was amazing. Good leader teaches you to pull your weight and not to gold brick. What is that? Jared's here. He says, hi, just to Kimi. Jared. Okay, got it. Oh, hello. Guess who's here? What's up, guns? Good to see you, Gunny Rod. Good leader teaches you to pull your weight and not to gold brick. I don't know what gold brick is, Victor. Victor, what do you mean by gold brick? Yeah, see, I'm good. I'm not the only one. Gold brick, do you guys know what that means? I'm interested because I have a feeling I'm going to use it. So the way that plays in.
It's valuable, but in fact worthless.
Say it again.
Something that looks valuable, but is in fact
Something that looks valuable but is actually worthless. That's gold brick.
English.
English.
Is it?
But gold is coming back right now. But I get it. I get the analogy. Good leader teaches you to pull your weight, not to gold brick. Looks amazing, but it's not really that valuable. I like that. That's good. Do we have that? Yeah, that's what those leaders were. John McJunkin, I remember a quote by the now infamous Bill Cosby, who said about being a boss. I always had wanted to be the boss, but then I seen the boss's job, and now I don't want to be the boss anymore. Again, because that's a boss. Now, what he should have said is I always wanted to be a leader, right? There's a huge difference between a leader and a boss.
Oh, the whole gang's coming.
Whole gang is coming. Jared. Michael Drone, that's what's up. Michael, we're just talking about you. Good evening to you. Good to see you. Gold brick is valuable. So LA, I'm with you. It's becoming valuable again, but I understand the analogy and I like it. That's a good one. Immense. Just saw this live on my feed. Could you tell me who you are and what your live's about? Yes, we are a group of motivated individuals. Today we're talking about leadership. And that there's still good leadership out there. We've seen a lot of bad leadership, but we're talking about good leadership and how to become a good leader and not just a boss. We have too many bosses out there, just boss people around, not putting any thought or passion into it. The difference between passion and desire. Just today. That's what we're talking about today. But hang out, immense. I think you'll like this channel. Everyone learns here. The community is the best part of this channel right here. You're going to learn a whole lot, whether you like it or not. You're going to learn some good leadership skills right here. Anthony Reese says, I've seen some commands that were good and then some bad commands. Bad commands, NJP every week. I was in a command that NJP every week over stupid and petty things. Once again, like Hot Rod explained the whole podcast right there. Moto podcast. What's up, Hot Rod? So, Iman says, English is not my mother tongue, so I'm just curious about English content. I want to get involved in this. Hang out for a while, and I mean we can explain if we have to, but please hang out. We want other nationalities here as well. Lay Cookie says, I've given up on trying to be a leader because our leaders are only interested in bottom line. I train people on how to be good technicians so they can build their skill set and better themselves. So that's a technique. Lay Cookie, you're a leader by doing that. That's the difference. You don't boss your technicians. You don't boss your guys to be good technicians. You lead them on how to be technicians. That's leader. That's the leadership defined right there. That's the difference. You could easily be their boss and tell them what to do and even show them how to do it, sure. But you said it right there. I train people on how to be good technicians. That's leadership. That's exactly what leadership is. Teaching them, you don't want them to just to pass and be able to fix the things. You're teaching them how to be technicians. Bro, that's passion and desire, right? You have them both. The desire is that they will be good technicians, but you're doing it through passion. That's amazing. Hunter, I wonder if there's such a huge discrepancy, why there's such a huge discrepancy between air wing and ground in terms of NJPs and wall-to-wall counselings. It's another good question, Collins. Where are you getting all this information from? Because there is a difference, and I've been in both, so I can speak intelligently on both. I've been in the air wing, I've been in the ground side, more ground side than air wing, but there's a huge difference in the wall-to-wall counselings. And it's the mission. It's the mission. I don't want to say op tempo because the air wing works just as long and hard hours and intense situations, but it's the overall mission. And they're both stressful, just a different kind of stress, right? Everything's life or death in both arenas, but it's the day-to-day operations that makes it different. But at the end of the day, somebody already mentioned it. If a unit is just having NJP after NJP after NJP, the Marines are failing. Got it. But why are they failing? What is their leadership doing for them or showing them, or how is that leadership? Are they teaching them to be good technicians like Lay Cookie? Or are they just teaching them to get by? Are they leading by example? This is why you don't haze. This is the difference between training value and just hazing. Doing it because I said so? Or are you showing them to do it so you can be a better Marine? Right? I learned that on the depot when I was a drone instructor, when the company commander who just fired me said, what training value did that bring? What I was doing to these recruits? None. I had no answer. I was like, well, they needed discipline is the standard answer. Why would you do that in the middle of the night? They needed discipline. Really? And that's how all they learned that day was a reason to hate me. No training value. Man, I want to be just like that drone instructor. Nope. Training value. Passion versus desire. Is your desire just to be the boss? Front parking spot in front of the company office? Right? Your own t-shirt, your own office, that's all you want? That's noticeable right off the bat. Or are you out there with the boys? Are you going to chow with them? Are you in their workspace? Right? How often have you been to their workspace? Not to check up on them, try and catch them doing something wrong. Had new lieutenants going to any officers out there, new lieutenants on the drill field, coming to your house, your squad bay. Had one that would sneak in all the time and look in the window. He'd look in the window before he walked in and trying to catch the drone instructors doing something wrong, which you can. But that's just a way to get you ousted from the team. It's one team. You got all these drone instructors and only a couple officers. Good officers know, and now you can text and email and whatever kind of way to communicate. Hey, drone instructor, do you mind if I come by and check out the boys? Absolutely, sir. Come on down. It's when they try to sneak in because they're trying to catch you because they're the boss. They're the boss of you and you can't do, I'm going to catch you doing something wrong. Wrong way to do it. Old Irene says, good evening, SFMFers. Dealing with life's adversity, but want to check in with everyone. Old Irene, what's going on, brother? Hope you're okay. dealing with life's adversities, but wanted to check in with everyone. Good on you, brother. Anything we can help you with? From my own, I didn't know DIs did wrong. Thought it was only recruits. DIs mess up also. Again, still human, still trying to learn, still trying to find their way. You got to figure DIs are young. I didn't think about that when I was a recruit. It's a Marine, right? These are sergeants. They've been there and done that. But they're still young. So drill instructors are still learning also. Randy, for my own sadistic pleasure, Captain, that's why. Yes, that would have been a more accurate answer. And that's exactly why I was doing those things. Because I had a belt and cover, right? I had that cover on. That's why I was doing the things I was doing, because I could. So wrong. Young, soon-to-be drill instructors, if you're out here, training value. There's got to be training value. Whatever you're getting ready to do, better be to make that recruit graduate a basically trained Marine, to make him a better Marine later. Jace Newton, good evening, sir. I'm in the delayed entry program. We got a DEPR here, everyone. I ship out after I graduate high school, June 1st. Any advice for standing out during boot camp? Of course, being in shape. First and foremost, Marines are very judgmental by your physical appearance and your physical fitness. So you got the first one down. Physically fit. Beast mode. If you have until June, you got 6 months. Get beast mode. So that's one less thing you got to worry about when you get there. And you will stand out right away. The next is mentally tough. We always talk about be mentally tough. Know that the drill instructors are just trying to turn you into a Marine. They're trying to wipe all that nasty civilian out of you and build you back up to a basically trained Marine. Those are the first two. Other ways to stand out immediately, know how to drill. The basics, at least, facing movements. You're in the depth, go to the Poolee functions, learn how to drill. And with a rifle, they probably don't have rifles at all recruiting stations, but get a broom handle. Look at some videos on just how to do basic drill. Stand out right away.
Can you mean mug me real quick?
And then knowledge. Get your basic knowledge down. Chain of command, rank structure, anything military related, naval terminology, deck, rack, bulkhead, portholes, hatch. Learn the basics. So when the drill instructor say, you know automatically what they're talking about, because that's what you're going to live off of. And then Marine Corps history. Another one, different than the traditions. History is a little bit different. Know who the big players are. Chesty Puller, Dan Daly. Old school, Robert Mullins, Captain Samuel Nicholas. Know who those Marines are. Opa May Johnson. The history, some battles and dates of battles, because you're going to be taught all that and you're going to be tested on all that. So knowing that stuff right away, that's one less recruit the drill instructors have to worry about. You know those basics, solid. You'll stand out right away. You'll be the guy. Next thing you know, be a squad leader just off your drill alone, just off your physical fitness alone. Guide or squad leaders right off the bat. And then the biggest one overall is going there with the right attitude. I try to kind of delineate, make the difference between a positive attitude and the right attitude. It's not going to be a positive experience the whole time. It's just not. That's the reality of it. So make sure you have the right attitude, knowing that days are going to suck. Getting up early is going to suck for a while, and you're going to be, if you go in the summer, you're going to be blazing hot. If you go in the winter, you're going to be freezing cold. Those things are going to happen on both coasts. It doesn't matter where you go. Having the right attitude about it. One is drill instructors can do some pretty amazing things, but they can't stop time, right? You're going to go to 3 meals a day. You're going to sleep at night. All those things are going to happen. 13 weeks is going to end, and you're going to be a basically trained Marine. So go in with the right attitude. Not always going to be positive. Old Jerry says, I remember those days fondly. Stay mentally strong. Stay motivated. Do everything with intensity. Gunny Rod, best advice for boot camp, move fast and be loud. Boom. That's half the battle right there. Move fast and be everything you do, you're moving fast. Every time you're spoken to, loud. Loud as you can. Make a drill instructor tell you, hey, that's too loud. I don't know if a drill instructor has ever said that in their entire career. Or slow down. So move fast and be loud. Anthony Reed, right and left shoulder arms, parade rest, attention, left and right obliques. Any kind of drill you know before going is the best. Wish I had this program 45 years ago. Future Marines, take advantage of this. I'm with you, David Bryant. Hello from Indonesia. All right, been there a couple of times. TTV Football Fanatic 88. Hello, can I have your help on some advice? The whole channel is going to help you out. Football. Put it up there and we'll see how we can help you. Not if, we'll see how we can help you. Thanks for your service, brother, from Puerto Rico. Warrior since all majors. War since World War I. God bless America. God bless you, brother. And Victor Perez nails it. You can win them dress blues, man. Graduate guide. You want to be platoon guide minimum, series guide, company honor graduate. All those Marines earn the dress blue uniform. Get it issued to you. Hurrah. Hello from Maine. All right. Hunter Collins, look at you. We got told to simmer down at the chow hall because we scared the workers. In boot camp? Yeah, again, I'd much rather, as a drill instructor, much rather have to tell somebody to be quiet, to settle down, to slow down, than it is to speed up, get louder, get louder, get louder. Give that challenge to your drill instructor. Make him tell you to slow down or don't sound off so loud. Hurrah. Jace, hi, sir. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your advice. I will be getting honor graduate, sir. I'm ready to go as a PFC. And the benefit, you going as a meritorious PFC into the fleet already, E2, getting that big E2 pay. Indeed, at boot camp. All right, well, good. The workers, they should be used to it by now. All right, Football Fanatic says, so I'm in the Young Marines and I'm marching my platoon in a parade and maybe thousands of people just want to know what I can do my best because I'm scared and very nervous. That's all normal and even acceptable. And even that you recognize it and are asking for help is going to put you over the edge. We're all still nervous in things we do in our lives now. Before the Marine Corps, as a Marine, and even after. Things you do. You can be nervous. My dad used to tell me, you can be nervous, just don't be scared. Don't use the word scared. You're not scared because you're going to do it. Huh? Or afraid. No, afraid. Yeah, never be afraid. You can be nervous, but don't be afraid. Right? That's going to adjust your mindset. Just be nervous. Right? Have some anxiety about it. That's okay. That's normal. But just like getting in front of a bunch of people and talking. Remember in high school, nobody wanted to get up and speak in front of a bunch of people. Unless you were talking about something that you wanted to talk about, something you knew dearly. If you were the best snowboarder in your family in the West Coast, you were great at snowboarding, you had all the gear, you do it all the time. Someone says, hey, talk to me about snowboarding for 10 minutes. You wouldn't be nervous at all because that's something you love, you have a passion for. So you're going to be the unit leader for a parade. Do you know everything you're going to do? Have you practiced it? Have you rehearsed it over and over and over? Talk about Annie Benani on here quite a bit when she was in JRTC. She would watch film. That's what she spent her time on her phone, and we'd give her that phone time. She wasn't wasting it on TikTok and on them dumb videos. She was watching her own drill as the unit leader, just studying ways to make it better. What can she do different next time? So as long as you're comfortable in your abilities to lead that platoon through the parade, you got nothing to worry about. Right? All the bugs and jitters. And as a Marine, I worked at the Staff NCO Academy. I had to give classes on stuff I didn't know about. Those I was nervous as heck about until I studied that class and rewrote it out, made my own notes, made my own slides. The more comfortable I got, the more knowledge I got on that subject, the easier it is. I can talk about 50 cal all day long. Battle for Way City. I've told that story before. Completely embarrassed myself. I got handed this class. I didn't study it. Nah, I can give it, I'll follow the slides. Way is spelled H-E-U or H-U-E, Way City. I read it when I was reading the slide because I didn't study. Okay, now we're going to go to the Battle of Hugh City. And the students were like, gunnery sergeants were like, what are you talking about? It's Way, because I didn't study. That just destroyed the rest of my class and my credibility. So know what you're doing. If you're a good unit leader and you can march them in front of nobody, you can march them in front of 10,000 people. Confidence and bearing. Great question. Get after it. You better sound off, Gunny Rod. Open your mouth. What's your advice to help people motivated during fleet time? So leadership, Hunter, Collins. That's what today's show is about, leadership. As you move up in rank, and last week we talked about the transition from Lance Corporal to Corporal, how difficult that is. Again, if you already know what a corporal should be doing and what you would do as a corporal, that's half the battle. So staying motivated during the fleet time is right off the bat your first duty station. You can ask anybody on here and they'll tell you, don't judge the Marine Corps off your first duty station, even the good units. But poor leadership that you're exposed to, anything negative in that first unit, that's not the entire Marine Corps. Even if it's great leadership, that's still, you have to know that you're going to go to another duty station where it may not be that great. So don't judge the entire Marine Corps off one duty station. And that's typically your first enlistment, right? You're going to be in training for about a year. So you're going to go from boot camp, SOI, your MOS school, and then your first duty station. Next you know, 4 years is going to be up. You can't say at that 4 years, man, this sucks. I hate the Marine Corps. You haven't seen the Marine Corps yet. You just saw one duty station, one group of leaders. The chain of command is feeding off the battalion commander and the battalion sergeant major. That's the kind of aura that unit's going to have. So it could be good or bad. But don't judge the entire Marine Corps off of that. So how do you stay motivated throughout? I think I did a short on this. You can be a good Marine. Most Marines are good Marines. The Marine Corps is full of good Marines. That's what the short was. If you haven't watched it, go watch it. How are you a good Marine? Hey, you pass your PFT, CFT, McMap belt is this according to your rank. If you're Lance Corporal, you got to be a gray belt. I don't know what they all are. NCO's got to be green belts. So that's a good Marine, right? You pass swim qual. You're the correct swim qual for your grade and your MOS. You've done your MCIs. Everything, you don't get in any trouble, right? You're always on time to formation. You never need a haircut because you always have one. That's a good Marine. The Marine Corps is full of them. There are thousands of good Marines. To stay motivated, be an awesome Marine. Be an outstanding Marine. Be the Marine that your chain of command calls for when they need somebody for a good quota. Man, I got this jump school quota. Who do you think? Give me a corporal. You need to be that one you're the first name that comes to mind. Bro, this guy's always squared away. High PFT, high first class CFT. He's a green belt and he's only a Lance Corporal. You're just above the requirements. You need to be above the requirements and all that. Not only has he maxed out on his MCIs, he's still doing MCIs and he has college courses. And by the way, he volunteers for the Red Cross 2 days a week. Be above all the regulations, not that low reg, the camis. You just kind of know your MOS proficiency. That's how you do it all. Hunter Collins. That's how you stay motivated. I felt really bad about my DI and his initial drill inspection. He called as you were a few times and none of us were ready. So interesting, because as you were is an authorized command. So maybe you guys didn't understand what he said the first time, but you can say as you were. But I think it may have changed in the few decades ago as a drone instructor, but you get like 3 as you were's. So maybe you had to say it one too many times. You guys need to pay attention. Staff Sergeant Dog, Simplified Sergeant Major Porter, former 1812 and 0311. Get after. What's 1812? I don't know what that one is offhand. I know what 03 is. Get some backbone. All right. I say that about a couple MOSs, but 0311, different world. Here's some good scoops from Randall Knapp. I didn't even read it yet, Randy, but I know some good scoops. When you're at your duty station, do not focus on how you are treated. You can only control your own performance and how you lead and advocate for your Marines. Solid leadership advice right there. Your leadership starts when you get to boot camp. That's when you become a leader. I always like going into a group of young Marines. You see they're all PFCs and a couple Lance Corporals. Who's a leader here? And there's always one or two that it's a trick question. That put your hands down. Every single one of you is a leader, right? Every single one of you is. There's only one boot in this whole room. You get 50 PFCs, one's junior, and the rest are senior to that one. There's only one. So every single one of you are a leader, because even that boot PFC, he's senior to recruits in boot camp right now. So your leadership starts at boot camp. All of you, a platoon of recruits, every single one of them's a leader. So start working on your leadership right away. You can only control your own performance and how you lead and advocate for your Marines. Even as a boot, you're help taking care of everyone in your fire team, right? You're a fire team leader, you're a corporal, have 3 Marines you're in charge of. All 3 of them have leadership qualities, leadership abilities. It's how you treat them, treat everyone else, right? Leadership, or is there born leaders or are leaders made, right? That's a big question. Everyone has different answers for. I believe every single person is born with leadership qualities. That's it. Our level of leadership qualities differs. Sure, everyone has different levels of leadership, but it's up to you to bring it out and how you display it. Some people just don't want to be in charge. Some people don't want to be in front of a classroom and speaking to everyone, don't want to be in that leadership position. And there's nothing wrong with that, because what's that saying? Is it still politically correct? Too many Indians, too many chiefs, not enough Indians. That's a good problem to have when so many people want to be in charge because they have the leadership ability to do it. But there's got to be followers, right? And how do you become a good leader? Be a good follower first. You have to be a good follower. Be a follower that you would want when you're a leader. How do I want them to follow me? Will they follow me? They will if you're a good leader, right? That's the difference. Be a good follower. Learn how to be a good leader. Staff Sergeant made black belt before he got out as a staff sergeant. That's good. Was 198. In your opinion, what's the best MOS? That's every MOS. Somebody put it in a comment. Every MOS is important. And as much as they were, I think they meant it, because 100% every MOS is important. I enjoyed my time in the infantry the best. It means nothing because I learned the most in the air wing, right? As a combat engineer, learned a whole lot, but leadership is leadership no matter what your MOS is. And no one MOS can go fight win like the Air Force. You can't do it on your own. So it's what you want to do. Somebody else laid it out pretty well too. Again, it's in a comment. A lot of people say, make sure it's an MOS, that it's something you want to do when you get out of the Marine Corps. I never thought about that. Never once even considered that. Maybe bad on my decision. I wanted to join the Marine Corps to be a Marine. Right? MOS was like secondary to me. And are you always going to do all Marines have civilian jobs that directly relate to their MOS? Not always. No, again, look at the infantry. There's some highly successful infantrymen after the Marine Corps that they're not in security, they're not cops, they're big variety. The most valuable lesson you learn in the military, all branches, is leadership. So if you are a techie guy or a motor team mechanic or just a mechanic in general, sure, those directly relate. You want to be a welder when you got, by all means, be a welder in the military. You're going to be in the medical field, join the Navy, let them send you to medical school. So there are certainly some like that. But I don't think you have to choose your MOS just on what you want to do when you get out, because you still have a career in the military to do those things. So it's up to you. I know I didn't answer your question, and I didn't purposely. What do I think the best MOS is? Because that's up to you. Hollywood Nick, should I join the Army or Marines? Friends, don't let friends join the Army. Just kidding. It's just one of our funny jokes here, but it's, again, what's your mission? What's your mission in life? Exactly what we're talking about MOS-wise. But know the difference, right? Talk to recruiters on both sides, and then talk to actual soldiers, officer enlisted. Talk to actual Marines, officer and enlisted, and find out what feels right for you. Not everybody can be a Marine. It's not for everybody. It really isn't. Randall Knapp, again, solid. Best MOS is the one you perform well in and get satisfaction from. Make sure it's something you want to do every day. Ed Creedon is here. What's up, Ed? We were looking for you earlier. Hot Rod is awesome. Never heard it put that way. Hot Rod had some good scoops. Did I miss it?
He said, listen to understand, understand to listen.
Yeah. Listen to understand, understand to listen.
To lead.
What?
Listen to understand, understand to lead.
Oh, to lead. Listen to understand, understand to lead. Yeah. 3531. First Marine Airwing. Hot Rod. Listen to understand, understand to lead. It's a tanker. Staff Sergeant Dog was a tanker and infantryman, and now I have a career in firefighting. There you go. I'm telling you, what you do after the Corps is not always necessarily going to be what you did in the Corps. I was an engineer kind of my whole career. Second half as a first sergeant, a sergeant major, I moved all over. So it didn't matter. I'm not doing any engineer stuff that I went to school for 20 years. Except building this crooked shelf. I didn't even build it. I just put it in there. I didn't even put it in there, but I tried to straighten it out. So no engineer work in my background whatsoever. I have a hard time hanging stuff on the wall. So nothing that I do today. I'm good at destruction. Yes, thank you. Doc says, how challenging is it to balance life as a Marine and a civilian? What key points would you give Marines to stay grounded, lead their families well, and succeed in both worlds? I had a hard time in the civilian community immediately after I retired. Hard time. And I'm not alone. I mean, I think it's very, very common. It hit me kind of right away, but I thought, I'll shake it off. I went right into JRTC, so I was still wearing the uniform, still being called Sergeant Major, still marching, still PTing, still shooting, doing all the things. It was just with civilians and a civilian chain of command. So had trouble with that because it didn't feel like my purpose was still there. And then learning the leadership abilities, the leadership capabilities of civilians is different. There's some amazing civilian leaders out there. I talked about the Army Navy Academy, hugely successful boys military academy. Their leader, civilian, running a military academy for high schools and leading retired military members, Army and Marines. He's a civilian leader, so there's solid leaders out there. But you can also take combat leadership and military leadership into the civilian community. It's when those prior service military leaders can completely forget all of their military leadership. They got to the rank of sergeant major or colonel or master guns due to their leadership in the military. Then they get out and retire and they forget all about it.
Wait,
become bosses and not leaders. And again, I lived through that 4 years, bosses, not leaders. So how do you balance that? You have to accept that it's different leadership, but it can still be good leadership on a different level. Both leadership, both compassionate, both with passion and desire. Right? Passion and desire. All right. Stats on dog. Well, Sergeant Major, love the content. Big fan. Love the lives. Please keep up the good motivation. Ra. Thank you, brother. Appreciate you. Pass the word. Support.
The Crucible?
Oh, the Crucible. Where is Carrie Ann Marie Potts? She said, are we going to reveal the answer? It was revealed in today's short. Yes, the Crucible. Oh, a post, the community post on the Crucible. This day, 1996, today, in 1996, the first iteration of recruits went through the Crucible. Today, so 1996 was the answer to that post before that. When was it, how long has the Crucible been around? 1996, that's 29 years ago. 29 years ago, they started the Crucible. 54 hours of sleep deprivation, food deprivation, skills, being able to perform under those two adversities. The LRC, Leaders Reaction Course, a bunch of different obstacles that you had to hike to, get to an obstacle, figure it out. Most of them you can't talk. In your fire team, you got to figure out how to get this 55-gallon drum over these two obstacles, and on the other side, using only what they give you and not being able to touch certain parts of it, all under the science of no communication, just leaders' reaction. It's how you react in situations like that. And it's grueling, 54 hours in boot camp. I think you get one MRE for the 3 days or something, so you have to plan your meals out. You're going to deal with adversity daily. 54 hours of dealing with this, and they introduced it 29 years ago. Pretty amazing. Before a lot of our, or after a lot of our times, a lot of people on here, I'm not a Crucible Marine. Question was for the longest time, are Crucible Marines better than other Marines? It's not, one event is not going to change the course of the Marine Corps. But I do think now, decades later, it was a good implementation. When they were talking about it and discussing it, current Marines had an issue with it. And let me know if anyone was under the same impression. The reason that the ACMAC gave us, the Assistant Commandant of the Marine Corps, was that there needs to be a defining moment throughout boot camp that a recruit kind of wakes up the next day and says, whoa, I'm a Marine. And that's how it's designed. It's towards the end of boot camp. You have like grad week and all that. After the Crucible, you come back down San Diego, and then you come back down south, back to MCRD, clean everything up. It's more of a mentor-scholar type relationship with your drill instructor. You're still getting slayed. You're still getting thrashed and all that. You're still a recruit. But now it's those last few days that help transition to you're now a Marine. You're going to be treated differently, different responsibility levels. You're no longer that nasty recruit. You're going to be a Marine on your own soon. So I think it is. The problem we had with it back then is we didn't think the defining moment is 13 weeks of hell. That graduation day, that's the defining moment. Problem was there's too many, they kept throwing different, well, you can't do this now and you can't do that. It wasn't no crazy, no more hands-on. Hands-on was never a thing. Can't swear on them anymore. That's always been like that. So it was a culminating event. It's like a field operation, right? You go to the field, you spend a couple weeks in the field, you're training, practicing, doing your own, and then you do force on force, a big war at the end. That's a culminating event. Then you index, right? Lessons learned, you talk about it, do a hot wash, do a fireside chat, whatever it is, to work on things that you can do better next time. I think that's what the crucible is now. The shared hardship and all that, that just hugely sets you up for success when you get in situations like that. Kind of practicing for misery later. If it doesn't happen, good on you. But if it does, you can relate back to the crucible. All for it now. Was against it back then. Maybe my maturity level, something learning throughout my time after the Marine Corps. I think it's a great thing. So 29 years ago, good on the crucible Marines. I think you're getting a solid bit of training, right? We're against it because little things. And I've told this before too. In first phase, we're getting a lot of lower extremity injuries. So of course, someone up top thinking inside, planning inside a box said, well, put the recruits in tennis shoes, all the first phase, and then they won't get those lower extremity injuries. Huge mistake. Probably the worst thing that we could have done is put them in go fasters all first phase. And the drone instructors were seeing it. That would just take easy, hey, drone instructors, this is what we're thinking about doing. Will this work? And we would clearly, quickly say, no, that's not a way. They got to break their boots in. Because for the longest time there, all first phase, they were in tennis shoes. They put their boots on to go up north, field training. So now they're putting their boots on for the very first time in a field type environment, humping, hiking, doing exercises on the rifle range. They were getting even worse lower extremity injuries. So drone instructors adjusted to that, and we would have them wear their boots only in the house in first phase. We'd have them wear them in the shower. Anywhere they went in, so as soon as you got in the house, put your boots on. You got to break them in. They got to be broken in before we go up north. But all the commander saw was, oh, see, we put them in tennis shoes in first phase, and that was a great call, great decision. No, you just doubled the work for the drone instructors. It was a success because the drone instructors made it happen. So when they said they need a culminating event, they need something in their 13 weeks to make them feel, let the drone instructors do their job. Is really all it boiled down to. So I think, again, over the decades since 1996, they have come to a agree to disagree and an understanding. And the crucible, look at it. I think it's good. I think it worked out well. Took some time and effort, different leadership. 30 years ago was a completely different leadership in the Marine Corps. All right, Hunter, a Crucible Marine. I definitely felt like I earned the EGA post-Crucible. I cried walking under the sign at Paris Island. I cried receiving the EGA, and I cried telling my dad I made it. So that is, and you see all those videos. It's a very emotional feeling. Did Marines before that have that same feeling? No, it was just before, when we were getting our graduation uniform ready. That's when we handed out the E-Globe and anchors. You put them on your uniform. Couldn't wear it until graduation day. So it wasn't a huge ceremony like it is today. So I love that part of it. Doc, if there was no Crucible back in the day, was there a warrior breakfast, or did that start in 96 as well? That all started around the same time. The warrior breakfast after the Crucible, that's new. That came with the Crucible. Did we do a warrior breakfast? No, we did the moto run. The moto run was pretty much it from what I remember. So the defining moment, again, I see it now. I see it. Our argument was defining moment is graduation. You don't get nothing until you cross that parade deck on graduation day and the battalion commander says, "Good morning, Marines." That's the first time you're being called a Marine. You've been called everything in the book up until that morning of graduation when the battalion commander says, "Good morning, Marines." And all 900 of them, 600, right? They say, "Good morning," come to attention. "Good morning, sir, hoorah." That was the defining moment. So just as good, sure, right? That was the defining moment. That's why, again, old school, we didn't agree with. They need a defining moment. Let us thrash them up until the day. I do like the transition of the last few days of getting ready. They still call them drone instructor, but now they call them by their ranking name. Then instead of just sir all the time or ma'am all the time, it would be Sergeant Cece, right? And that's the sort of transition part into the fleet, right? So you're just not calling everybody sir, sir sandwich wherever you go after boot camp. Now it's rank and name. So I think it's good, right? Old Giant, I had that defining moment at graduation, then said, let's get off the island. Yeah, it's good. Oh, yeah, Randall says that. Good morning, Marines. That was it. So, again, no warrior breakfast, and maybe it could have been just that, but I wholeheartedly agree with the Crucible now. All right. So many Marines would agree with you, right, Randy? Welcome to Semper Fi, my friend Victor Perez. Victor Perez, Paris Island, Camp Lejeune, Camp Pendleton, Okinawa. Hurrah. I missed a couple. Crucible is a great idea. Defining moment is a perfect way to put it, says Endless Mountain Outdoors. Being a Marine last week meant a lot as a boot. Hurrah. That being a Marine that last week meant a lot to a boot. I get that. We had a similar warrior breakfast, hot meal just before a march back to the barracks after Mount Mother. I don't think they had a name for it, but right after field training. I think I remember that now too, Randy. Just kind of sparked some memory. We did, and they didn't call it a warrior breakfast. You're right. I think we did before, right after Mount Mother. We'd come back to like a big field mess. Right, kind of sat around, ate together, chatted. Not chatted, but still recruits and drill instructors. They even took the drill instructors. Don't worry, and this happened while I was a drill instructor. On hikes, the drill instructors stopped wearing smokies, right? We switched out the smoky with the soft cover. After a while, part of that transition. Endless Mountains went through in '99. So yeah, Crucible Marines. It's always a big question. Is there a difference between Crucible and non-Crucible Marines? It's been almost 30 years. I mean, all Marines now are Crucible Marines. Hunter says, I could see that. I know a couple of guys who knew the training schedule and stopped trying once a Crucible was halfway done. That's the other thing. That you get that feeling, you see the light at the end of the tunnel. Oh, Crucible's done. We're done. We're Marines now. I can see that kind of changing the attitude of how much you're putting into it. We're graduating now. That's why as a young Marine, as Randy, you didn't know until you were on that parade deck graduation morning. Now I made it. That was a defining moment. That MRE, I always forget. People always ask, the MRE behind me. Oh, you added one. Complete meal, Tuscan beef, and beef shredded with barbecue sauce. Every single MRE is good, no doubt. There's some I wouldn't prefer, like a veggie omelet or the vegetarian ones. There's some I prefer over others, but every single one of them is good. Randy, never once saw DI with the soft cover. I'm telling you, we hated it. When halfway through my time as a drone instructor, they said, all right, up north, only on hikes though. We'd only do it on hikes. And our first sergeant sold it to us was like, after a hike, your covers are nasty because after a hike, look at them, you sweat through them. Right? It took them a couple of days to dry because that's beaver felt. I don't think it's actual beaver. But your covers did get thrashed. We didn't care, right? That made you look salty as a drill instructor. That was cool. But we also had two covers. A field north cover you wore up north and the one you wore. So we weren't buying it, right? We wanted to wear smokies. We want to stand out as drill instructors. If they don't recognize you as a drill instructor with the soft cover on, you're doing something wrong. They should know automatically who a drill instructor is and who's not. I saw you lick your lips there. Good MREs. Guns, I'm telling you. I like all MREs. Easy. Combat Medic is here. What's up, Combat Medic? Hurrah. Jared, first. Merry Christmas, boss. What's up? Joe Rad. Merry Christmas to you. And we do say Merry Christmas around here. Hunter, all MREs are sustenance, therefore none are bad. They'll give you what you need. Joe Rad, what's up? Merry Christmas. Appreciate you. Merry Christmas to you. I'm trying to look at the dog on there. Is that that's a Doberman? Is that Rottweiler? Oh, it is a Rottweiler. It's thick. Yeah, Dobermans are much thinner than that. That's a Rottweiler. That's a Rottie. Love our Rotties. Awesome. Yes. Merry Christmas to everyone. Did I hit all my topics today? Leadership, pre, during, and after boot camp. You start leading as a recruit, and boot camp you start leading from day one as a shower shoe. Membership time, Randy. Just so you members know, or soon to be members, or wondering if you should be a member or not. A couple things. You see your name will turn green. You'll get an Eagle, Globe, and Anchor badge by your name. The color depends on how long you've been a member. Randall Knapp. I couldn't even finish talking about how great it is being a member. Look at right there. Dex Looney, Michael Hensley, Shannon Stewart, Jared the Coffee Guy, Mojave, fair day to you. Gifted memberships. If you ever get a membership out of nowhere, it's not from us. We don't have the ability to gift member anyone, but our awesome, generous members do. So please give them a shout out if any of you are on here right now. Thank you, Randy. Appreciate you. Being a member, you get to pre-flight with us before the lives. And just tonight, members got check out the short after, just for members. It's a video of Kimi Cocoa Puffs and I doing a High Rocks race series yesterday. It's pretty good. All done by Kimi Cocoa Puffs. Awesome video. It's good. And you can see that we're almost dead at the end. We didn't have our phones during it because we were dying, and you don't take your phone through it. So that footage is covered by High Rocks, but you see it's before in the stage, if you will, the arena, and then after. It was pretty good. Mr. Skyfall, I got a question. Who's able to write tickets on base? Always wondered how the hell you wrote me a ticket, not being PMO. Mr. Skyfall, what'd you do? Parking in a red zone, I'm guessing. At one point, Mr. Skyflail, I said fall, Mr. Skyflail. So at one point on Marine Corps, at one point on Marine Corps Base Hawaii, they gave the sergeant's major a ticket book. It was like my birthday, the best day ever. I couldn't believe it. They said, here's a ticket book. Here's how you fill it out. If you see a violation, go ahead and write it. So yes, you must have been parked at the annex, at the red zone, just running in real quick to get your dry cleaning. That's a red zone. You don't park there. That's really the only ones I wrote was parking tickets. Handicap, definitely write a handicap one. All the other ones, the E9 parking, the 06 parking, park there all you want. You cannot get a ticket for that. Those are courtesy parking spots, but a handicap is against the law. Red zone parking, against the law. I don't know if they still do that, but that was, yeah, I was out of control. Because when I went to look for a parking space, I couldn't even get to the parking space because so many, I'm just going to be a minute. I did it right. My own Marine one who pulled into the handicap to go to the ATM, the handicap at the main exchange. There's two handicaps right in front of it. It was like they were setting you up for a trap. No one ever parked in them because they weren't even convenient for handicap. Handicap were in another area, but there's two right in front of the ATM machine. Marines all the time, scoop in there, run in, get their money, try to run. My old Marine. Yes. I would write my wife a ticket if she was parked in a red zone. Mm-hmm. Is that the wiki? See? Mr. Skyflail. Yes, it was out of control. Doc Holiday, 5 gift memberships. Brian Perez, Unknown Gamer, the Reaper, Jays in Weatherford, Boomer. Awesome, Doc. Thank you guys. Thank both of you guys. Members, we're killing it with members. Again, badge next to your name, changes color as long as you maintain your membership. Pre-flight with us right before we go Gen Pop. Every now and then we'll drop some videos or shorts, but it's a hot one today. Hot video of Kimi Cocoa Puffs and I.
That's for level 1 and higher
It's for level 1 and higher only. So level 1 starts at 30 days. Yeah, level 1 and higher is you get the pre-flight and the videos.
No, just today's the.
Oh, just today's video. So you got to hang out. You got to hang out for 30 days, renew your membership, and then you get access to the good stuff. Yes, Doc and Randy, thank you guys. Well, I appreciate that a whole lot. The what? Eternal Pulse Path is, I think, just made the just made the roster. Just made the roster as well. Thank you, Eternal Pulse Path, Divine, Bodie McBoat Face, Todd, Jeremy Vega, firefighters, all gifted from Eternal Pulse Path. Thank you very much. Appreciate you. Josh Hume, is that you? Hume? What's up, brother? You are, is that the Josh Hume? I only know you by your last name. You see old Irene, what level before we meet Mrs. Producer? What level you got to be? Josh Hume, how you doing, brother? Good to see you on here. Thank you for that.
I don't know if to have a super chat at that level.
Oh, she said she doesn't know if there's a super chat at that level. Hunter Collins, that does mean I'm reaching out to you, prior service recruiters. It's been 2 years too long. Yes. Does it? That does it. I'm reaching out to the prior service recruiter. It's been 2 years too long. Do it, brother. Absolutely. I think I missed my mark to reach out to the prior service recruiter. If it's only been 2 years, you're good. Go for it, brother. Absolutely. We got you. What's up, Hume? Good to see you on here. Look at Mr. Sky Flail. Welcome to level 1. All right. How's things, Hume? What are you up to now? Right? Kimmy Cocoa Puffs. Nailed it. Generous. Get your members. And the members, look at Carrie Ann Marie Potts right there. Members get to use those emoji. New emoji made by the producer. Awesome. Wish I could use them. Always stole my lunch when I was training NCO. Good to hear. Good to be here. I did not steal it. Did I? Maybe once or twice.
Did we say thank you to Eternal Pulse Path?
I did. Eternal Pulse Path.
It went past me, sorry.
Yes. Awesome. You guys are amazing. Amazing. Adamise, what's the most random military thing you use around your house that's not for its intended purpose? I use boot bands to keep my 1-year-old out of the cabinets. Awesome. I haven't used, have I used? You know what I use my boot bands for is to tie up my poncho liner. When I'm done using that, roll it up, use boot bands to keep that together. What else do I still use? Random poncho liner, number 1. Mostly for its intended use, but we use it for everything. Back of the truck, moving, everything. That's good for the boot band. What else do I, still use today? Hunter, do it. It's not going to be easy, but it's 100% going to be worth it. Thanks for your support. Hunter, it could take up to 2 years, right? Talk to the prior service recruiter, the retread recruiter is what they're called. And you have to stick with it. Again, it's going to take some time. So be patient, but be aggressive. Keep asking the questions. Keep on, whoever your prior service recruiter is. And from what we hear, recruiters, let me know, they don't have a quota for that, so they don't really get credit for you. So you got to stay on them. It's not, they got to meet their quotas that they do have quotas on enlistments. So re-enlistments from prior service, you got to stay on them. Be aggressive, be patient, and go for it. Anything we can do to help, let us know. Hume, licensed plumbing contractor in Oklahoma. Good on you. Training sister companies in various skills. Loving it. Awesome. So right here, we talked about it earlier. Hume, people were saying, what MOS should I do? Should it be something that I'm going to do after I get out? Were you a plumber in the Marine Corps? The skills you use now that are helping you become successful, just lessons learned as a Marine, just being a Marine, period, in general. Leadership. Any leadership skills you take into the plumbing world, I gotta believe yes. It's good on you. Hume, great to hear from you. It's so good to see you on here. Eternal Plus
You use the
path.
tab or anything that's not intended?
Thank you for those 5 memberships. Appreciate your support. Thank you.
The crisis song up there, it keeps disappearing. I can't.
We got a poncho liner tucked in every nook and cranny. Yes, you see that? We do, literally. There's one in my truck. There's one in the ottoman. There's one in my bedroom. I've acquired some poncho liners over the year because that's the best piece of gear. I did a short on that years ago. Best piece of gear the Marine Corps has ever come up with. And people call it a whoopee. I always thought that was an Army thing, but I had some Marines say they call it a whoopee also. I never heard that. Never heard that until this channel. But we literally have poncho liner. All my kids have them. Everyone has one. We even found one at a thrift shop. Remember that? Who was with me with that? You know, they have sections in thrift shops, to used clothing and all that. Yeah, first time. And I hate going in those. I would never buy someone's old shoes or socks or underwear. Or,
Hey, don't be too proud.
I do. My AC/DC shirt came from a thrift shop, so I will frequent those. Found a poncho liner. Somebody got rid of their poncho liner to a thrift shop. Couldn't believe it.
I know why.
Scored.
Suicide. I took
All right.
suicide.
What am I? Chili or beef taco? That's neither one. Oh, you asking me which one? Chili or beef taco? I would, you know what I would do is try to get both of them and combine them together. I do like the chili though. Chili, you got to heat up. You got to put the cheese on.
See what Hogue wrote.
Even for a med board, you were med boarded out in Hunter Collins. That might be a little more difficult. And it depends on probably what you were med boarded for. Wow.
If he's collecting disability, then
Yeah, are you collecting disability for the med board? That's going to put a wrench into it also. Talk to the recruiter. Talk to the recruiter and MEPS. And talk to more than one recruiter.
because what's his name? Dakota Meyer went back in. You know, he was probably.
Dakota Meyer went back in. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's possible. There's a waiver for everything. Absolutely everything. Yeah, Randy, I'm with you. I don't know if they would let us back in, but sure would try. Holidays are upon us. From the producer, reach out. Buddy checks save lives. For those struggling, call or text 988 is the crisis lifeline. We talk about the holidays, Thanksgiving. We survived through it. Right, it could be the best holiday, could be the worst for some. So don't forget that, please. I'm with the old Jareen. Calling a poncho liner a whoopee should be grounds for NJP. I swear to you, I thought it was an Army thing until a couple of Marines were like, oh, yeah, that's what we called it. Nope, it's not a Marine thing. Lavolpe, why do Marines look bigger than soldiers? What can the Army do to have the same fitness? They got to get after it every day. Why do they look? No, Marines are a lot smaller. What do you mean?
That's what I mean.
But he says, why do Marines look bigger? The Marine Corps is the smallest
Marines are more elite.
as far as numbers wise. We sit around 200,000. Army has like 500, 600,000. But PT, Marines are fanatical. That's why. About what? About being Marines. And we judge you 100%, 99% off your physical fitness and your appearance. Yes, go to any gym on any Marine Corps base anywhere, and there's some beast mode in there every day, all day, throughout the day. A little light on the weekends, but there's Marines in there getting after it every day, all day. It's a competition. Everything's a competition. Who can be bigger, stronger, better, faster? That's what Marines do. Anthony Reed, you got to have hot sauce for every single MRE. All right, there you go. From my Skyflow. You got to try after. You got to want it. How bad do you want it? How bad do you want to look bigger than a Marine? All right. No, you the man. No, you the man. Stay frosty. Hot Rod. Stay frosty, Hot Rod. Good to see you, brother. Hope everything's going well. Keep getting after it. Cheers, brother. Thanks for being all you can be. That's what the Army is, all they can be. More muscular. We got it, Volpe, and just, I'm telling you. And I used to go to the gym, the Army gym in Schofield Barracks in Hawaii. It's just a different vibe in there. There's some beast soldiers, but in Marine Corps gym, like 99% of them are beast mode, right? And they're competing against each other. I mean, you don't even have to say anything. And now in the gyms, everyone wears headphones. You can't even talk to anybody. Very rarely do they even have workout partners, but everyone's trying to get better than everyone around them. That's what it is. I'm telling you, it's not a straight moto when you go to any Marine Corps base gym. Hunter Collins, again, brother, unrelated, but have you had the chance to look into HEMA? No, I wrote it down last time you talked about it. And I haven't, but I'm going to now so we can talk about it. Yeah, like that's the martial arts training. I don't remember even what it stands for. I wrote it down. I don't want to flip through my book while we're online here, but European martial arts. I have not, but I'm going to. Historical European martial arts. No, I'm telling you, I'm so open to all of it. Jiu-jitsu stuff. I want to do all of them, and time is a little bit part of the problem. Yeah, so I wrestled in high school. Yes, I'll share this one. It's pretty embarrassing. I wrestled in high school because my football coach said it would help my football skills. And it was off season, right? So I did join the wrestling team. And I wasn't that big in high school at that time. I was a freshman or sophomore. I was pretty scrawny. But I wanted to build up my football skills. And my coach, he also told me to take ballet to work on my balance. I never did that, but I did go into wrestling. And, I was a tough guy and did the drills with everybody. And I seemed to be pretty good at the drills, the falling, the bracing, all this stuff, kind of like McMat. You practice all that stuff first. And just wrestling around with the guys during practice. My first wrestling meet, paired up by weight. I don't think grade has anything to do. Anyway, this dude, within seconds, got me in what I learned later was called the duck hold or something. I don't know what it was. But he had both my hands tied behind my back. My face was rubbing on the mat. My nose already started bleeding because he was just manipulating. We were the same size. And I thought I was pretty strong, but he had technique. I had no idea what I was doing. I wanted to fight, but I couldn't get up because he had me in this hold. I was so mad. And he just held it till finally I got pinned my first go around. Hated it. I was so mad. I still want to fight him today if I knew who it was. He just technique, man, technique. And my brother used to always tell me growing up, wrestlers are a different breed. He can just take you down. They know size doesn't matter because I had a couple pounds on this dude. Size don't matter. It's technique. It's terrible, but again, I'm willing to try all of it. And I still want to join still want a UFC fight, just one fight, just one. If I survive it, maybe two. UFC, I just want to get in the cage, get that feeling of stand in the cage and boom, hearing that door close behind you and 2 men enter, 1 man leaves. I want to get that. Maybe I'll wait till they do it by age only, so I can fight another old guy. Hopefully he's out of shape. All right, see you later, McJunkin. I see you're taking off. What? Anthony, you're thinking about coming out of retirement and using my language certificates in State Department, ICE, or Border Patrol, or just private translations. Awesome. Anthony Reed, go for it, brother. That's some valuable stuff you got right there. I'm telling you, that's amazing. I know the federal has waivers. I'm telling you, there's a waiver for everything in every community. There's a waiver. Some HEMA coaches do cover bayonets. Learning how to fight with bayonets is important too. All right, Banjo, hello to everyone. How are you? We're getting ready to close this baby out. Huh? Getting ready to land this helicopter. Wrestlers do well in the Marines. They absolutely do, especially now with McNabb. Brother was right. Hankins, Mark Hankins, right? He used to tell me all the time. Remember, we'd go into big shopping stores. I don't know if we had Costco and all that back then, but we'd go in and he'd say, look around. See these dudes, that dude, that dude. A wrestler could take that dude down. He wouldn't even see it coming. And it'd be a big jack dude. Still in the back of my mind, that's what I think. My McMap training in the Marine Corps, 1 or 2 jiu-jitsu visits with my other daughter, all those things. A wrestler, the technique is everything. Man.
You know who Randy Orton is?
Randy Orton? No.
He was a Marine
And he's a fighter?
for a hot minute. Do you see that one?
No. Oh, old Jyrene. What's up, brother? Look, how'd you get that? How'd you get that emoji? Thank you, brother. Randy Orton. Who mentioned Randy Orton? Old Jyrene? Old Jyrene, check it out. Oh, good night, old Jyrene. Appreciate you, brother. Take care. God bless you. See you on Wednesday. We'll be on this Wednesday. Today is Sunday. You see his emoji on there? That's pretty cool. Appreciate you, old Jyrene. Have a good night, brother. Zombie Blood is here. What's up, Zombie Blood? James Johnson, late to the game. Hope you have great holidays. Thank you, James. Appreciate you too. We hope you have great holidays as well. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. Hume says, wrestling sure helped me out, especially during being the little guy in a platoon. I'm telling you, technique is everything. Take care, old Jyrene. Thanks for the super. Very cool. Have a great weekend. Stay dangerous. McJunkin, Sergeant Major, I talked to your local high school here, asking if they could bring back wrestling, boxing, gym classes for these young kids, but they wouldn't budge. Everyone's worried now. Hopefully we're going back to where the 80s and 90s, where it used to be.
Where do they get their physical fitness?
Yeah, where do you get your physical fitness from? All that should be brought back. And telling you, over the last couple of decades, we've gone soft, right? Somebody might get hurt. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Somebody may get hurt. Someone's also going to learn from it as well. Anthony, calling night, SFMS from Columbia and all channels. 73s. Appreciate you. Zombie Blood, hello, sir. Always happy to come on your live stream and hear your motivational message. Zombie Blood, you're catching us at the end, getting ready to land this helicopter. Don't forget to watch the video that just got posted by the producer from yesterday's High Rocks competition. It was a
Double tap, y'all.
double tap, everyone. Good night, Doc. See you Wednesday. Good night, all of you. God bless you, and can't wait to see y'all Wednesday. Stay motivated, stay safe, but be aggressive. Semper Fi, my friends. Era.